Hi everyone, my name is Chris Pineda. I'm a physiotherapist in Ontario, Canada, and we're going to be talking about something that affects everyone at some point in their life, and that's how tissues are injured, what happens at each stage of tissue healing, and what we can do to make better rehab choices at each stage of that healing process. So join me today, and let's get right into it. Injuries happen when the capacity of a tendon or ligament is lower than the loads that's put on it. The load exceeds what the capacity of that structure can take. This can happen from a single event, kind of like rolling your ankle. When you roll your ankle, all the forces go through the ligaments and structures there and proceed to injure that structure. Or it could be also micro trauma that adds up over time. Again, the load exceeds the capacity. So what we need to do is lessen that gap, where now the capacity of that structure is at the same level of the load, or ideally, even higher. When tissues are damaged at a cellular level, the body triggers inflammation. The inflammation begins the healing process. Inflammation is good, but only when it doesn't stick around for too long or slow down the rehab process. Inflammation is also good because it brings blood flow, nutrients, and immune cells to start that cellular healing process. During this stage, the body is clearing out the area and setting the stage for healing. During this time, you'll see swelling, pain, warmth, and redness. Those are all normal signs of inflammation. Rest and protect the area, but avoid total inactivity when possible. The second stage is the proliferation stage, lasting from 4 days to 6 weeks. During this stage, there's new tissue building. Granulation tissue or granular tissue, it's not as strong yet, but it's starting that healing and creating process of new cells. Controlled movement and guided loading is what we're looking for in this stage. The third stage is a remodeling phase, which can last from 6 weeks to months. During this third stage, the fibers align along the lines of stress, making it a lot stronger than in stage 2. Progressive strengthening and functional training are essential to rebuilding full capacity. So, what's rehab look like at each of these stages? In stage 1, the inflammatory or the acute phase, we're going to follow something called peace and love. P stands for protect. We want to protect the area, make sure the injury isn't worsened by a further hit, more trauma onto it, protect the area. Elevate, E, we want to elevate that limb or that body part ideally above our heart, or just elevate it in general. This helps with blood circulation and just overall blood flow to help reduce that swelling as well. A stands for avoid anti-inflammatories. By avoiding anti-inflammatories, we avoid slowing down the inflammatory process, which is what we want in an injury. We want it to go through the acute phases all the way to the remodeling phase. That's a normal part of tissue healing. So you can take Tylenol as needed, but we want to avoid Advil because that's an anti-inflammatory. C stands for compression. So you can wrap the area to allow for compressive forces to help with the swelling. And also gives it a little bit more support to what you can tolerate. E stands for education. Learning more about your injury through a physiotherapist, a doctor, someone to teach you about your injury, or you learn it yourself through, hopefully, YouTube. A medical professional would be able to give you the most up-to-date as well as most relevant tips and advice for your injury. Peace is what we use for the acute phase. Moving on to the proliferation phase or stage 2, as well as stage 3 and the remodeling phase, we're going to be using love as our acronym to follow. L stands for load. We slowly load that muscle and tendon as it can. This promotes cell growth as well as tissue healing. The more we load that muscle, the better it realigns to those lines of stress in that remodeling stage, making that tendon or ligament much stronger than how it was. O stands for optimism. It's very important to keep a positive outlook because that mental determines our physical and vice versa. So those two are very important. V stands for vascularization. So we want to get as much blood flow to the area through things like exercise, which leads us to the last one, which is exercise. We want to do things, both of those, we want to do things that allow more blood flow to the area, that help with tissue healing and tissue strength as well. In the acute or inflammatory phase, we're looking to strike a balance between protecting that area and not keeping it inactive for too long. So things like gentle range of motion exercises, isometric exercises, active assisted exercises, things that allow movement in that joint without causing much pain or re-injury. Light isometric exercises, where you're contracting the muscle, but you're not moving that range. Deep breathing exercises to reduce muscle guarding. Active assisted movements like heel slides or active assisted shoulder flexion in different ranges. Those are some examples. In the second stage, progressive banded work, isotonic exercises like squats, for example, mobility drills to prevent any tightness. In the remodeling stage, heavier squats, progressive overload with those exercises. In the remodeling phase, you're looking for more progressive exercises, heavier weight with those movements, sport-specific movements, balance work, agility drills, plyometrics. Those are some examples. And avoiding rapid increases in strengthening weights. We want it to be gradual and slow over time and controlled. Remember, each stage needs the right amount of stimulus. Too little, and we don't stimulate enough tissue growth. Too much, and we risk re-injury. So it's finding that right balance. Not too little, but not too much. Understanding these stages is important for your recovery. Now you'll know why your physio gives you these exercises and for these stages. If you found this video helpful, hit that like and subscribe button for more injury prevention and performance videos. If you have any questions, put them down below and it might be the topic for the next video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.